Hi, everybody. Good to see you this afternoon. Welcome.
Hello, hello. Hi, Sue.
Hello, Miss Laura. How are you?
Fabulous. How are you doing?
Very good and very excited about our topic today because it is so valuable for us in all areas of our lives.
Absolutely. And hello, everybody. Wherever you're watching from, drop a comment. We'd love to know where you are watching from, where you are located.
Yes. What we're going to talk about today is how we can create those healthy habits. And when I say healthy habits, it is a habit that's healthy in our lives, independently of the area of our life that we are going to focus on. But it's habits that we could create that do something to serve us. So they're healthy habits for us that help us with our healthy lifestyle. Laura, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? So everybody
Sure.
knows who you are, in case they don't already know who you are.
Absolutely. My name is Laura York. I'm a certified holistic nutritionist, and my company is the New You Lifestyle. And I help, especially women, I help women crack the code to living a healthy lifestyle so that you feel great and love your body. Because I personally absolutely believe that the better we feel physically, mentally, and spiritually, the more prepared we are to be successful in our personal and our professional lives. So, what I'm going to be talking about, so stick around as well. If you would like to find out some specific action steps that you can incorporate into your habits to create your healthy lifestyle, I'll share with you the things that I do to create my healthy lifestyle. And Sue, please introduce yourself, darling.
Yes, ma'am. My name is Sue Ryan, and I am the founder of Creative Business Coaches, which I am actually rebranding to Sue Ryan Solutions. I have had
Ooh.
two brands. I've had my caregiving brand of Our Journey of Love and my business side of Creative Business Coaches. And I am integrating them because so much of our lives is integrated. And the reason I'm doing that is the foundation of all of this is for us to learn to lead our lives better. So the better that we understand ourselves, the more we know about ourselves, the better we can lead our lives in all of the areas of our lives, whether that's me in my role as a caregiver or me as a business leader and coach and speaker, or me as somebody at the gym trying to make sure I've got a healthy life. So at any rate, it's a very exciting time for me, and I'll share more information as we go along about my rebranding, but I'm very excited. So let's get right started with this. What I wanted to make sure that I shared with everybody today is talking about habits from the perspective of what they really are. And a habit is simply something that we repeat over time until it becomes something that we don't have to think about as much. It's not that it's completely unconscious, like breathing. It's just something that we kind of do a little bit more automatically. So we have a cue, something we decide to do, we have a response, and we have a reward. And in the very beginning, those are choices that we're making. Interesting thing is that to our brain doesn't know whether we're making choices for something that's healthy, something that's not healthy. It just understands that we're creating a pattern of behavior. And the only way that we can begin creating a new habit is to raise to our level of consciousness that we have a habit, that it is unconscious to us. And so a big part of that is we become aware of it. And then the next thing is we don't judge it. It's just something that is. We have a habit. It could be something that we would prefer not to have in our lives, and it could be something that we would prefer to continue or to expand in our lives, but we're not going to judge it. The way that we have clarity on being able to do something about it is not to judge it. The next piece is that we recognize that we're all unique. And so, Laura, you're an expert on this. People will come to you and say, I want to lose 10 pounds. And it would be very easy to say, okay, do these 5 steps. And yet, what might be 5 steps that would work great for me, for someone else, they don't work at all.
Mm-hmm.
So the next thing for us to be able to do that's really helpful is to understand how we naturally look at the world, how we naturally see change, if we're resistant to things. And a great way of doing that in this area is just to raise to our level of awareness when we've tried to change a habit before, or when we've tried to start a new habit.
Yeah.
What have been the things that worked easily? What have been the things that worked not so well? There are a lot of layers we could go through with that, but that's a great place to start. It's just what's worked well in the past and what hasn't worked, and what have we learned about ourselves. Um, and then there's only one reason why we don't change a habit, why we don't create a new habit, why we don't eliminate a habit. And that's because we're not connected to the outcome of what the habit does. And Laura, when we get into what you're going to be talking about, that's where, for example, your personal story allowed you to create new habits because you were so connected to it. And what I mean by that is that I have a vision in my life of something I want so much. And I realize as I come back, there are these things for me to accomplish in order to get there. And so I make choices. These are the things that I choose to do in order to get me down the path of something that I believe and something that I see. They become my guardrails and my guideposts for that. If I don't have that, I'm going to go off to the next thing. I'm going to get tired. I'm not going to feel like doing it. But when we get so connected to the reason that we're doing it, the vision of what we're doing, then we can back in to what those individual steps are, that it's internal to us. There's something in neurolinguistic programming, which is, it talks about things that are externally facing versus internal. If I say, I should do this, I should work harder, I should do this, I should do that, that's something that's external. That's based on a judgment. But if I say, I clearly see that I want to accomplish this and this and this, and I'm so connected to it. Like right now, I am so connected to serving, passionately serving clients, and I know specifically who they are. It makes it easier for me to raise to my level of consciousness choices I have made in the past that don't fit, and then choosing what I want to do, and then working with them until they become a new habit. Does all that make sense?
Totally. I love it because you know what you want. And so in order to get it, this is what's on the menu today. That's how my brain looks at it.
That's exactly right. And we respect the fact that it is not a cookie cutter. It is just not. And so if you start to have a little resistance to something, honor that resistance. Wherever you've got a resistance, whether you have a nudge toward doing something or whether you have a little feeling of resistance against something, really honor that and look at it so that you recognize the way that you uniquely need to make choices that serve you. And again, there's a lot we could talk more about. And actually, we've discussed the fact that we want to do something about that, and we'll share that a little bit later. But for right now, just raise it to your level of awareness.
Yeah, for sure. And also because when we are raising it to our level of awareness, then we'll be able to make the determination on whether it's not serving us or whether we're just looking for the easier, softer way, which may not get us to our goals, right? Because that happens too. Like there are a lot of times when I don't feel like it, right? Like I didn't really feel like going to work out today. And I knew
you obviously did because I see you in your workout gear.
And I'm still in my workout clothes. You guys see me with my hair, my ears sticking out, like the whole 9 yards, because I want the benefit more than the instant gratification. So I knew as long as I just got my little butt there, I knew I'd feel so much better afterwards that I did. I felt my self-confidence boosted because I honored the promise to myself, as well as the benefits that I get long-term. I just did it because that meant more to me than, whatever else I was going to be doing if I didn't work out.
And so kind of to recap what you just said, it's not like you look at your calendar and you've got workout and you go, okay, it's going to the gym, but gee, I'd rather get this other thing done. So maybe I can just push this off because nobody else will know. No, it may say on your calendar. And by the way, one of the tips is that instead of just putting workout, you put out the reason that you're working out. You connect it to that and you see that in the vision of it. But when you see workout on your calendar, it's because you've created a vision of what you know working out is going to get you to your vision. And working out is a piece of that. It's not just going to the gym.
Yep, for sure. For me, Pilates has really helped my physical body, which makes me feel better, right? I actually even feel taller, but like my structural issues that I have feel better. And so I see on there Pilates. So there you go. I would love to share the tips that people may want to choose to incorporate into their life. Over the years, the reason why I'm so passionate about what I do is because I grew up very, very sick, very unhealthy. I've had many, many health issues, asthma, allergies, thyroid issues, knee surgeries, neck issues. Like I can go on, believe it or not. Food allergies. I had a liver disease, like so many different things. I'll just share. I had a complete total hysterectomy almost 7 months ago. I've been on thyroid medicine since I was in 5th grade, like so many different health issues. And so I personally know what it feels like to struggle with health issues. I struggled with my weight. I've been up to a size 16 before, and that was even being a wellness practitioner because I've been doing this for over 25 years. And so I personally know what it feels like to struggle physically, mentally, and spiritually with health or weight issues. And that's why I'm so passionate about what I do. And so one of the first things is to commit full on, whatever it is that you want. Like, let's just say, for example, you want to feel better. You want to feel better in your body, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like what I talk about is feel great and love your body. So first is commit full on. But then some of the things that you can do, for example, a little preparation and planning go a long way. I'm a nutrition lady, but I don't love to cook, believe it or not. And so I love to cook once or prep once if you're not cooking your food, cook, prepare your food once and eat multiple times. I think that's the best thing since sliced bread. Now, there are some people that don't like leftovers. So if that doesn't work for you, then don't incorporate that. But that prepping and planning, one of the other things I love about preparing and planning is that I prep and plan for when I've run out of the prepared foods and I have healthy, fast options. For example, last night I had spaghetti squash and I bought this convection toaster oven air fryer combination thing. I didn't think I would love it. I love it because I didn't know so now I don't have to put my spaghetti squash in the microwave. It goes in the air fryer option and my spaghetti squash was cooked in 16 minutes.
So I have a question for you. When you like, as we were talking about habits, you connected with, you knew that in order for you to have a healthy lifestyle where you actually feel good and you're moving, that choosing healthy food was the required part of it. In the very beginning, as you were getting to where you are now, to do the things that say, well, it'll make it easier for me to prep once and eat twice or things like that. What was your mindset like? What were some of the things that you did as you were in the process of creating those habits?
Good question. Well, first of all, I hated cooking or preparing my meals every single day. It felt, and this is what I do for a living, but it felt like it was too much work. Mm-hmm. It felt like a whole other job, especially while creating the habit, right? Now that I've had these habits just happen because I've ingrained them in my life, but I still keep them because it makes it feel easier.
Okay.
It's not a lot of work for me because I don't have to do the work to have the healthy food every single day. Mm-hmm. That was my mindset.
So you took what to kind of recap what I think you said here is that recognizing that you wanted to eat healthy, you also said, okay, I have to do it in the context of the fact that I'm not going to go out and do juicing and clean up for an hour, and I'm not going to cook 3 meals from scratch a day, and I'm not going to do all these things. That's not who I am. So you looked at how you could have the vision of a healthy lifestyle and yet incorporate it based on who you naturally were. And like Sue Huff creates these spectacular meals. I look at it as like, you should be a chef in a restaurant.
I know, I see her on Facebook. If you're watching, Sue, good job.
Good job. And that's not me. I aspire to it. I'd love to do drive-bys every day and pick some of it up. And yet I'm more of a food assembler. And so to your point, you created the lifestyle that serves you and allows you to make those choices. Yep. Because again, choices, the repetition of a choice that works for you is what creates the habit. Yep. And so you said it would not work for me to create all these meals from scratch. It does work for me to assemble the food more and to find easier ways to do it, still with my goal of health.
Absolutely. And making sure that I have certain foods in the house that are going to be easy and quick for me to prepare, like cucumber and hummus. I can whip, you know, that takes 5 minutes to put together, and yet I still have a healthy meal or snack, right? So regardless of how it's going to fit into your life, even if you love to cook every day, preparing and planning ahead of time is necessary. Getting the groceries, you know, all those things, so that you set yourself up for success because they're available in your house.
What is something else, what's a different area of your life that you addressed to look at the choices you were making in order to support you having this healthy lifestyle that you knew was required in order for you to actually have a quality of life?
Yeah, planning the times that I was going to eat. Just like we planned that we were going to be on here starting at 3 o'clock, you know, we plan our lives and like vacations more than we do our own health a lot of times. And so for me, planning, even though I run my own schedule with my own business, I still plan the times that I'm going to eat, because then I don't blow through it and go, oh, wow, I haven't eaten for 6 hours. And also setting, especially while starting to create a habit, I share this with my clients all the time, scheduling an alarm on your phone or a calendar appointment on your phone to alarm you, to let you know, because when we're busy and you may not feel hungry, just like when you're, by the time you're thirsty, you're already dehydrated, right? So you want to just keep drinking. So planning the times that I'm going to eat, and I like to keep it around the same time every day, but I always take a look at my schedule in the morning and see, oh, did anything shift? Do I need to change what time I'm eating? And then this way I stay on point, because I'm focused on the results that I'm going to get.
Yes.
I feel good. And if I don't do XYZ, if I don't do this, then I don't feel good. Or I don't, you know, I can't maintain my healthy weight.
So you put together a plan that makes making the choices easier. You do it according to the way that your lifestyle is. And then you give yourself reminders that help you to make the choices. And especially as it's becoming a habit, they're good triggers for you to allow you to make the choice. Because again, your brain doesn't know if it's a good choice or a bad choice. Your brain just knows that it's a choice and there's a reward.
Right.
Laura, have you ever used an accountability partner? Was there ever anything else that you did that helped you with a habit that might have been a little bit more challenging in any of the areas of your life as you were looking at developing new habits?
I have had coaches for years and years and years and years. I've even had a breathing coach because I wasn't fully doing belly breath breathing. So the short answer is yes, absolutely. And that's one of the things that my clients actually love in our relationship, is that they know that I'm here as the accountability coach. When I'm guiding them on their journey, they get to share with me whether or not they've stayed on track and to their goals and their specifics. And if not, figuring out what can we do differently. Like, for example, if I decided that I ended up putting too many clients back to back, or if you just put too many clients back to back, and so then you missed your lunch, well, what can we do differently next time? Right? And maybe give a little more time just in case clients go over the time that you've allotted for them. And the other thing too, with I forgot to mention that I want to share for people, is that planning the times that you're going to eat, you want to stick to around every 3 hours. And it doesn't matter whether you do a longer intermittent fast. If you wait 12 hours from dinner to breakfast, or if you wait 16 hours, whatever. As soon as you've broken that fast, then you want to eat about every 3 hours. It really helps with your maintaining your metabolism as well. So accountability is so important. Just like, I mean, we do more for others than we do for ourselves sometimes, right?
Yeah.
So,
and I think one of the biggest parts for me, I know with my coaching clients, one of the biggest parts for me with accountability is, again, this is not judgment. One of the fascinating parts that I've learned about myself as I'm creating a new habit is the minute you make a choice about something, it's kind of like the universe says, I'm going to test you. I'm going to test you. I had an example not too long ago. I choose not to have sugar in my life at all, if possible. And I was being really diligent about it right before my birthday. And a friend of mine brought me this piece of cake that was about like this and about like this. And it was it was within the hour of my having said, between now and my birthday, no sweets, no sugar. And this, completely unanticipated, come. So the no judgment part of it and the part that we're learning about ourselves, the thing that has also been very, very helpful for me, and the part about having somebody as an accountability partner, or even my own journal as my own accountability partner, is I look for the areas where I'm the weakest. I look for the areas where I have the least ability to resist another choice, because if I want to change my behavior and have that over time, I need to address anything that's kind of trying to get in the way. And so there's a lot of layers of self-discovery. Did you find out when you were making choices in your life in areas that you wanted to change, did you find that was also a great opportunity for self-discovery or not?
Always, even today. Both things, an opportunity for discovery and also, oh, okay, tell me how bad you really want
Yeah.
it. Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. For sure. And it's looking at the glass, whether it's half full or half empty, and deciding and switching the mindset that two things, we're not depriving ourselves, we're rewarding ourselves by choosing XYZ so that we get what we want,
Mm-hmm.
as well as if this isn't working, let me take a look at why isn't it working? Am I struggling? Am I fighting it? Am I do I need to grieve something so that I can then move on and look at what I'm gaining? So yeah, absolutely. I think that there's always a time, and for me, whenever I feel, like something is snipping at me,
Mm-hmm.
physically or mentally or spiritually, then it's an opportunity for me to go, okay, what is that? What is working? Or like Marie Forleo says, how can I make this work?
Yeah, how can I make this work? And one of the things that I've learned is that where I have a place of resistance, I'll take it and say, okay, how can I break this down smaller?
Mm,
Because one of the things I've learned, and I know that you've addressed this a lot with your clients, and you could talk to this as well, is that I know that sometimes I'll make a goal and it seems kind of like a big hairy goal, but it seems aligned with what I'm trying to do. I can picture it, I want to do it, and then I get started in it, and I feel this beginning feeling of overwhelm.
mm,
And whenever I feel that, it's like, okay, let's break it down into smaller and smaller pieces, just like any kind of a project that we're doing. And yet I find it that if I don't do that with a new habit I'm trying to form, that my choices get kind of confused and I feel overwhelmed. How do you deal with that with the choices that you work out with yourself and with your clients?
yeah, it's like eating the elephant one bite at a time, right? So let's not take a look at all the things we need to change right now in order to feel better and have and love our body. But what are the small steps that I can do right now? That's why I love some of these tips that I share with people, because it's not focusing on the results. It's focusing on the action steps that we need to take to get those results.
Okay.
And then we're not overwhelmed because we're not looking at the big picture. We're just looking at, okay, these are the steps. I need to put one foot in front of the other.
Mm-hmm. You said that one of the things that you did as you were looking at your health is you focused on one area, and then you had capacity to start focusing on adding other areas. Can you talk a little bit about that transition, that when you got a habit to where you kind of felt like you kind of had it
Mm-hmm.
kind of as a habit that you
Mm-hmm.
could look at other areas?
Yeah, for sure. Some of the things, we can then incorporate. I mean, first of all, there are different personality types. Some of the people I work with, they want to do, they're like, okay, tell me all the steps, but I just need to do it right now because I don't want it to be nagging at me or whatever. I want to jump in with both feet. And other people are like, let me do one thing and then I can incorporate another. And some people are somewhere in between. And so once I start to feel good about one area, like for me, I believe it or not, exercise has never been something that I've loved. And I started out my career as a fitness instructor, actually, and it took about a year. And I was like, no, we can't out exercise a bad diet. The nutrition is 80% of the equation. And so once, for me, I always feel like, especially since, like I said, nutrition is 80% of the equation, for somebody in the wellness arena, for physically to feel better first, change your food habits. Once you feel better, then you'll have more capacity and you'll have more likelihood of then also incorporating exercise. Also, with the nutrition, don't forget about the water. We want to drink about, you could say about 64 ounces of water, or it could be half of your body weight in ounces. I drink way more than that. And I have 3 steps that I like to share with people. You can just do room temperature water. If you hate room temperature water, yes, cold water is better than no water. So room temperature water is going to absorb in your body. And don't be like my husband. Don't chug, a 16-ounce bottle of water and be like, woof, got it done. We want to drink it slowly throughout the day. So if you know me, I always have my water bottle with me and I actually drink it. And also take a look at during the day, where am I? Like right
Mhm.
now, I know I've already drank 50 ounces of water, so I'm good. So I don't have to totally focus on whether I get how much more water I get in, right? Although I know I want to finish the rest of this bottle. So then incorporating exercise. And it doesn't matter whether you are working out 5 minutes a day. Start with something. As a matter of fact, I don't recommend people start out with an hour a day, because then you're going to feel sore and you're not going to be able to sit down in the toilet and you're going to go, forget it. I don't want to work out anymore. It's too hard. And let's say your goal is to work out 30 minutes a day, but for some reason your schedule, whether you're busy with work or kids or whatever, you don't really have 30 minutes in one chunk. Work out 3 times for 10 minutes. It's okay.
So
That
you're
really does it for
adapting,
you.
you're developing the habit of working out every day or 5 days a week or whatever it is, and yet you're also being flexible to saying, I'm
To
not
make it
going to
work.
stop this. If I can't do it, I'm going to come up with alternatives.
Right.
And to your point about everybody being different, I know what worked for me with connecting to, the drinking all the time and
Water.
having the liquid is brain health and energy are very important to me. And I actually went out and Googled. I have a good friend of mine calls me Sugal because I Google everything.
True.
And I actually Googled what happens to the brain when we become dehydrated. And as I am doing things with my brand, and I'm so passionate about my messages, and I'm so passionate about my health in order to support being healthy for my husband, for whatever his needs are, connecting the benefit of my staying hydrated with my health and my ability to serve the clients who I'm here to serve, and my husband and everything else, it makes it bigger than me.
Mm-hmm.
And in that case, it made it so that it wasn't just for me to drink X number of ounces of water. It was that this would hydrate my body and support my brain and all these things for something that was a larger cause. So
Yeah, and to your point, exactly. It's always about the benefit, the what it's going to do for you, right? Like
mhm.
even for people when they want to feel great and love their body. So that what?
Yes,
Right? So why? What's that going to do for you that you
yeah,
don't currently have? Like I had one woman, we walked through it, peeling the onion, if you will. And it turned out that it's because that the last time she had went to Disney World, she couldn't keep up with her grandkids. And she
gotcha.
literally was in tears sitting on a bench while they went and had their day. And it doesn't have to be that big, but it's so that you get what,
It
right?
was she had a peak emotional experience that allowed her to say, okay, now I want something different more than I want what this is.
Yeah, it allowed her to be able to commit full on because she was able to
Yeah.
focus on what she was going to get rather than what she was not doing anymore. You know what I
Yeah, we've
mean?
got about a minute left. Do you have any other comments to wrap up? We could do this for hours, and I mean, we've got so many more layers to it. And
I do.
I think
Let me give a couple of more things.
please
So
do it real quick.
when you are eating, you want to eat balanced low glycemic meals. If you don't know what low glycemic is, it's how we rate our blood sugar and how it spikes. So even if the food isn't high sugar, it could spike your blood sugar more than if you were to eat ice cream, like potatoes, pastas, those kind of things.
And if they
However,
send you a message, you got something for them that they could.
absolutely. I have a recommended foods to eat guide based on the glycemic index. I can send that to you, drop a message or private message me. And also a couple other things are to lower or eliminate caffeine, alcohol, and obviously sugar, right?
Oh yeah, you're
So
ending it on a real high note for them, Laura.
yeah,
Thanks.
I am. Well, what's the goal, right? Well, and I didn't say, I know coffee could be a real big deal breaker for people. And so maybe it's don't drink your coffee first thing in the morning. Number one, it's going to trick your brain into thinking you're full when you're not, and then you don't have the energy from your nutrition. But also, it creates more acid in your body, and disease breeds in an acidic environment. So maybe you're going to eat breakfast, then have your coffee. And then also supplementation, it's supplementing the nutrients that we're not getting from our food. And the basics are a very good quality multivitamin, fish oil, unless you are completely plant-based, and then you can have some flaxseed, and then probiotic. Those are the basics. And then the last thing is to finish eating dinner a minimum of 2 hours before you go to bed, so that your body can stop doing the work. So when you're sleeping, you're actually getting some rest.
Cool. So what Laura's done is incorporated choices in her life. She's gone through the choices that help her have her healthy lifestyle. And when we talk about the habits, it's the number one thing you can start doing is becoming aware of habits you have. Do you want to?
And are they serving you?
Or not? Are they serving you or not? And then if you've got them, what is it that you can connect to? Do you have a passion in your life? Do you have something that's so important in your life that you can't imagine not doing it? And you start to connect your choices that become your habits to achieving that. And if you've got any more questions about that, or if there's anything else we can do, drop a comment. We're going to actually take this and do a deeper dive in the future. But thank you all. We've kind of gone over our time, but this was so helpful. Thank you, Laura. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Sue. I appreciate you too. And if you're watching the replay and you have any questions, drop your questions below and we'll circle back and make sure to address them. We hope you are all having a fabulous day. And we hope that you took some nuggets out of this that will help you achieve your best life moving forward. And thank you, Sue. As always, it's a pleasure doing this with you.
Pleasure doing this with you. And you are facebook.com/Laura Ulrich. And I apologize. Somehow the link didn't work right, but we'll find you. All right, everybody. Take care.
Bye, everybody.
See ya.